I don't know about you guys, but I find this time of year really, really weird because we start to see brands coming out with things like their advent calendars, but at the same time, we also see things like Halloween releases. Now, personally, I'm totally fine with seeing Halloween releases at this time, particularly when they're from affordable brands. I saw this over on TrendMood, so it's Wet n Wild, and they're doing a Nightmare Before Christmas collab, and it seems that some of these have been spotted out in the wilderness, or at least, the wilderness of a store. Let's discuss. Based on TrendMood's post, it looks like this Wet n Wild collaboration is going to be on their website from September, and it seems like some of these are actually already out in the Ulta retailers. So her post does say that there's more things to come, but so far for certain, we have an eye and face palette, we have a blush lighter palette, a makeup bag, and strangely, up at the top right hand corner, it's a translucent primer and finishing powder, which I'm like, when am I meant to use this? Is it at the beginning or at the end of the makeup, or both? And it does seem that the items are going to range in price between $7.99 and $17.99. The blush lighter actually looks quite promising. I mean, the tones from this are in line with Sally's dress, which I actually think is super, super cute. I would be very interested to see what this looks like because, I mean, Wet n Wild do some nice powder formulas. I remember way back in the day when everyone was all about the Wet n Wild highlighters, and then they kind of fell off. But Wet n Wild are actually pretty darn good for their price point. I mean, every single collection has to have a makeup bag, but I feel like this is actually quite nice. And if this is under the $17.99 mark, that's not bad at all. I mean, we've seen a lot of brands coming out with makeup bags and they tend to be quite expensive. And this does look like it's a fairly decent size. Like you can actually see it there for reference with the other items. This is an item that I'm a little bit confused by because it just says it's a translucent primer and finishing powder, which I'm a little bit confused by. And also, is there pigment in it? Usually, like finishing powders sometimes do. I mean, not always. But I mean, if that's the case, this is not going to work for an awful lot of people. Also, I just want to know how it works. Again, is it before or after makeup? Do we use it all the time? What's going on? The eyeshadow palette, I mean, they also said that it's an eye and a face palette. I don't really see how it could be a face palette. Maybe I'm just being very, very stupid. And also, I want to know what the colour is in the bottom right-hand corner. Or maybe there's nothing there at all. The shades themselves make sense in that, like, there's that gold from the dress, there's the blue, etc. Do I feel like it's a very cohesive colour story? Not really. Like, I'd kind of struggle to know what to do with it. But, like, it's fine. Very much fine. Like, I'd forget about it in like the next hour. It also seems that they have two colour changing lip oils. One is like green and one is purple. And I'm assuming, with colour theory, it's going to change your lips into like something a little bit more brown, nudie colour. I don't know. I'm not big onto the whole colour changing lip oils. It reminds me a little bit of like pH stuff. And then there's a sticky serum primer. I mean, that's kind of interesting. I don't hate the idea of that. And the last thing that we actually have a good look at is their two-piece multi-stick set. So it looks like you could possibly use this as like a stick eyeshadow, but also maybe as like a highlighter or like a blush. I wonder if it'll work on the lips. They look a little bit chalky, a little bit dusty. I don't know, I'd want to swatch them and see what the story is. I think the main thing that is of interest here in this line is that it is affordable. Let's be real. There's nothing like awful about this, but there's also nothing that I'm kind of going, oh my God, I must have this. Maybe the makeup bag, but even that, I'm like, Teresa, realistically, you aren't going to use that. It will come, as I said, to their website sometime in September, but if you're over in the US and you have an Ulta nearby and you're really into this, have a little gawk, you might find it. I don't know. I personally love the Nightmare Before Christmas, but not enough to be like, oh, I'm going to go out and get these things. I mean, we've seen at least 2 other brands do Nightmare Before Christmas collabs. At least this one is a little bit more affordable. It's okay. It's very middle of the road, but let me know down below what you guys think.